Welcome back to part 11 of a fast conversation about the Fast and Furious. It's our final part. I'm Korbin Zvokel.
I'm Jackson Mahuron.
I'm Kody Webb.
And I'm Abbi Feiner.
Kody is here. We'll pop in and out on our view, but we are also in the same place. You can see I'm going to throw something. Oh, look at that. It hit him. Wow, that's crazy. We're in the same room. We just watched Fast X all for the first time, and we're going to talk about it for exactly 20 minutes.
Wow.
There's four of us. We've obviously never seen this movie. It did just come out in theaters a couple weeks ago at this point, but excited to discuss this huge moment in the Fast franchise with all four of you, or all four of us. Should we get into it?
Let's do it.
All right. Setting the timer for 20 minutes. A real fast conversation. And we begin. Jackson, what did you think?
20 minutes for $20 to pay for this movie.
So true. Shout out Apple TV.
Pretty expensive. This movie was okay. It's weird doing this in front of you. Yeah, I don't know. I was not the biggest fan. It's definitely better than Fast 9, which we just reviewed. But mostly nothing happens, but Jason Momoa is amazing in it.
High praise for the villain. That's a hot take. What do you think, Abbi? Were you a Momoa fan?
I think that Momoa was simultaneously eating and giving me the ick.
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
It was really hard to figure out what he was doing that I liked and what he was doing that I didn't. But overall, a fun watch.
Unsure if he knew either, to be entirely honest. He was kind of working with it throughout. Cody, what did you think, Fast X?
I wasn't a massive fan. I think for a 2.5 hour long movie, it actually wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. But I feel like it's the same trend. Like, it was a half a movie. I don't know if it was marketed specifically to be that, so it's kind of tough. And my big takeaway as well is that nobody dies in this universe. Spoiler alert off the bat. I mean, I say we just go for it, but how was Gal Gadot back? She fell off a plane onto a pavement runway. Something
Going pretty fast.
We never saw a body.
Something was there.
She just kind of fades into gray.
Yeah.
You don't even hear
she kind of gets dusted a little.
Yeah, like she doesn't even touch the ground.
Yeah, basically all of the like massive deaths that are supposed to be like super emotional. You got Letty, you got Han, you got Gal Gadot, I guess, but like they're all back. So I feel like the Brazilian chick is definitely coming back in the next one, right?
The mom of Dom's kid, yeah, she has to, right?
Probably.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all. This movie, we talked about it. It's like 2.5 hours long, but it really doesn't have a lot of story. It is almost primarily action set pieces. I think they're mostly rather effective. I want to talk about the one in Rome because I think that was the best.
The opening one, yeah, totally.
The opening set piece of this movie, maybe we should address, is just a replay of Fast 5.
True.
So they saved a little bit.
10 minutes of.
They had a little budget on that. They could just reuse the footage shot there. But the main set piece of this film in Rome. Talk me. I mean, we get a little Indiana Jones action. There's a bomb. What's going on? What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's Roman's leading the heist or whatever. Roman the character is in Rome, and there's a Roman holiday joke. They're hijacking what they think is like a chip that can track something or whatever.
Classic.
Yeah, classic. And then we learn that Jason Momoa has locked them in this car with a bomb, and they're gonna blow up the Vatican. I think is with them with the team in it because he's got to get revenge.
Very serious stuff. This movie's very heavily focused on family. Also, a lot of religious themes throughout. You know, the cross necklace has been significant, but
yeah.
Jason Momoa is constantly doing the Christ the Redeemer pose, that really, signifying that Rio connection. Also noticed, like you said, bombing of the Vatican. They refer to Dom as Saint Dominic at one point in this movie.
Yeah.
There's big talk of having faith. I mean, this is a very religious film as well.
You can tell that, Dom or Vin Diesel, I guess, is very passionate about his faith in this one, and it really comes through the project. These
characters have become almost biblical figures as well.
Oh, totally. Definitely, myths for sure.
Favorite stunt, Abbi? What did you think?
Favorite stunt
of this movie? What was the best one?
That's a good question.
Was it you could go for the crane? He hits the crane, spins around.
Anytime you see Dom's gadgets,
he's a man.
He's
kind of like James Bond.
It's James Bond, Batman-esque with like 0% coolness.
Yes.
So those are always fun to watch. Yeah.
Level of corniness there for
Super
sure
high.
coming from him.
Yeah.
Some more family that gets brought up in this one. We get Elena's sister, who was played by Ratcatcher 2. Cody, I know you were really excited to see her.
I do like the actress for Ratcatcher 2, and I said this before, but I feel bad for her. Like, after coming off a performance like that, and then you just get cast in a Fast movie. I feel like that sucks. Also, Brie Larson is in this movie.
Who plays?
I don't know.
Nobody's
It's
daughter,
yeah, whatever. Little nobody sister, basically. But I don't know why she's in this. Like, I want them to be cast in better things. And also, they were barely in the movie. So, it is half a movie, I guess, to be fair. But I'm surprised Brie Larson didn't have more to do with kind of her star power.
Yeah.
But they advertised her pretty heavily, I thought, going into it.
She's definitely, I mean, will she have a bigger role in the next one? Have they? The thing is, because I believe the original intention of this movie, which we will talk about the struggled production, was that it was going to be a in-game, Lord of the Rings, let's film these back-to-back sort of thing, Avatar. They didn't do that because of all the troubles. They fired, they didn't fire. Justin Lin left due to creative differences, mostly with Vin Diesel. They brought on Louis Leterrier and then sunk $340 million into this project. And then they decided maybe we shouldn't keep filming. Let's take a break. But I'm curious to, Fast 11, I guess, is going to be a continuation of the story. I don't really know where they go from here, though.
No, I don't know. I feel like one of the biggest issues that I noticed in this one is that they have their family, but they don't cycle anybody out for the missions. And it's just like, okay, we have 8 actors now who need to get like some relevant screen time. And it just feels like Tej and I always forget the hacker girl, her name. They're always like basically just doing the same thing at the same time. And Roman's just kind of there nebulously, just like making jokes and stuff. I don't know. I feel like maybe they could have trimmed down a little bit on the screen time to get more of the plot in, but there wasn't much plot either.
I agree. They also like split them up. I feel like a lot. Like maybe that is like, Vin Diesel. Obviously, he's had problems with The Rock. Maybe nobody just wants to do a scene with this guy anymore because
that's true.
He's really not.
He was alone for most of this movie.
Other than Ratcatcher, I feel like and a little bit Brie Larson, but he doesn't like interact with any of the normal crew. I feel like, which is kind of weird for family-oriented Fast and Furious movie.
I feel like it's strange how little Letty we got.
I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, it feels really strange. We have that whole scene that she did with what's her name, Cypher. Yeah. So they have that whole scene, and then I feel like that's the only thing she really does through the whole movie.
She's second build too, and
second build. We noted in our Fast and Furious 4 conversation that they kill her off. They essentially fridge her. In this movie, they stick her in an ice box in Antarctica, so maybe it's kind of a similar thing that's happening. But I hope we get more Michelle Rodriguez. I think we talked about she's definitely the best fighter. She's always my favorite parts of these movies.
Yeah.
Best part of Avatar, too. That's for sure. The first Avatar.
Oh, yeah. She is really good in the first Avatar, yeah.
For some reason, they didn't bring her back.
Yeah, everybody dies in that movie, and they bring people back, but no Michelle Rodriguez.
True.
She got to shine in Dungeons and Dragons, though.
She was good in that.
She was fun in that.
She was fantastic. She has a type of man that she likes as well.
Yeah.
No spoilers for Cody.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Cody hasn't seen Dungeons and Dragons, but
Paramount Plus.
She has a type. We'll say that.
Another thing I wanted to mention too. I feel like this movie makes me dislike Fast 5 a little bit more.
Interesting.
Because obviously the opening scene is just stock footage, shot for shot, of Fast 5. So I feel like in hindsight, it's like that movie's a little bit tampered, which kind of sucks.
It tainted it a little bit.
Yeah.
They showed extra footage of Jason Momoa just like brooding by the safe where it was.
And that's the massive reveal at the end. Do you guys think that was a
good twist?
A good twist?
Yeah.
Good cliffhanger?
I don't even remember what it was.
The guy who takes over nobody's agency.
The Titans
turns out he works for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was fine. Like it was like because they've done like the twist of like, oh, actually, I'm working with the bad guy with the woman who does like Ben Shapiro.
Gina Carano.
Yeah, Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
And that was I thought was pretty good, but this one just wasn't nearly as interesting. It was just like, all right.
Throughout these movies, something that has always pissed me off is when they're driving in the cars and they're like yelling and talking to each other. They can somehow hear each other. This movie takes a real effort to show that they always have walkie-talkies.
Except for Letty. She's just, you must just hear her constantly breathing.
The motorcycle.
On the line.
There's some hookup there, but I can appreciate that. Shout out to our man, Louis Leterrier. Let's talk about his filmography. Transporter 1 and 2. Now You See Me.
I've seen that one.
What do you think of Now You See Me?
It's not very good.
What is the reveal at the end of Now You See Me?
The reveal of Now You See Me is that Mark Ruffalo, who was the cop or the detective who's chasing them down, is the like king of the magicians, actually, and they've been like doing this elaborate stunt to appease to him, and then he like lets him into the guild or something. Like, I don't know.
So not the exact twist, but
kind of similar. Yeah.
Here. It's a twist that's like, okay, cool.
Sure.
We didn't really set this up at all, but it's now part of the plot.
Yeah.
Sure. Also the director of Edward Norton's The Incredible Hulk. Another movie that went through a perilous production, a lot of struggling between the star and the lead actor. So he's at least worked with some prima donnas at the very least. What else about this movie? Do you guys, any other thoughts on Fast X?
You got any thoughts?
I don't like when the bomb was rolling.
It rolled for a long time.
Okay, how is it rolling for that long?
Yeah.
And B, it was constantly on fire. And what was burning? The bomb is made of metal, so either it's gonna explode or it's not gonna burn.
They said something, it was like a neutron something bomb, which, very strange. There was no fuel source whatsoever.
And what happened? So we learn in this movie that they're being considered terrorists globally.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course.
So, and that's kind of just not a thing after that point in the movie. They're
because
constantly going.
They're on and off on the lam.
Well, yeah, because it's like the people that are pretty much only chasing them is like the nobody agency, not really any other cops. So I guess they're being followed by them, but it's a little unclear throughout. Mm-hmm. You would think they would have a lot more heat on them.
Right.
But they, as we said, they always have another place to go. Jason Statham appears in this movie. Statham. Jason Statham. What did you guys think about his use in this and the appearance of the punching bag again?
Well, yeah, because the punching bag was in the end credit scene of Fast 9. And then like we see it again and it's like a different person that's in the bag like multiple years later. And then he was just there for like 2 scenes and then like left.
He disappeared.
I forgot too. I didn't even realize we were missing out on him. But
yeah, I wish he was kind of in the plane at the end as well. Just join him with the entire group.
Go down with the ship.
Yeah, I thought his like one scene was actually good. Obviously he worked with the director in the past too, so I'm surprised they didn't want to team up for a little bit more. Maybe they were saving that for the second, but his one scene with Han, I did kind of like. I feel like any action, stunt work was decent in this movie. I would say that and Jason Momoa for me were its biggest strengths, if you could say that in a word.
Yeah, I think at times the CGI was a little points. The fire was always, over the top.
Aggressive.
The filmmaking felt very Michael Bay in a cheap sort of way, like the drone shots. There's times when there's drone shots of just like characters standing in places, and it's like, this is not necessary. I get it for an action set piece and you can make it look cool, but in terms of like adding story or plot or emotion, it does nothing, and I really hate those moments. What else did we want to talk about here? Let's talk about Dom's kid, Little B. We have not mentioned a pivotal character throughout this franchise. Abby, I need to hear your thoughts on little Brian.
Okay. First of all, and so Dom is constantly risking his life and talking about how important family is.
Number one, some might say.
Yeah, right. I would say that he thinks family is quite important, but it always seems like he forgets that he has someone waiting at home for him. And
in this movie, like lets him go out on the mission and is just like okay with it, I guess.
Confusing kind of dynamic.
Yeah, the whole point was like getting him to the safe house. Then they're at the safe house, him and John Cena, and then they like unveil the car to look at it, and then it's like, okay, we're taking this out in the mission for some reason.
The entire final set piece is not really set up well.
Yeah.
No.
It's unclear why they're there or anything.
Yeah.
And then he shoots those people. He kills those people.
He kills people with the rockets and he high fives. Yeah. Not a great fatherly decisions there, bringing him out there. I do love his chemistry, which I think the moments between John Cena and the little kid.
Oh, he's so great. Yeah.
Some of his strongest
super
moments.
well.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think the kid's acting was fine. He wasn't too bad. I'm not sure if I would believe that he's actually Dominic Toretto's son or Elena's son at all. Can't really say that those ancestral roots make a lot of sense to me. Rita Moreno's his grandma as well, so it's all a little bit
more confusing even.
She's really only there for the barbecue scene, so shout out to her for getting a little check.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe she'll show up later.
There's a few one scene, actors who pop up in this. Helen Mirren, I don't even know why she was there, if I'm being completely honest.
She's been doing a lot of those cameos.
Shazam too. She's the villain.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's true.
It's a good flick.
Yeah,
not great at all. The ending specifically, like we said, this ends in a cliffhanger. It makes us think potentially Roman, Ludacris, and Ramses are dead. Do we think there's any chance of that?
I mean, we can hope, but
it would be crazy.
I guess not.
It would be so crazy to kill them all off after like they keep bringing them back from the dead, just like unceremoniously. Like, oh yeah, they just died off screen in this.
Yeah, it's like we really didn't even see the plane crash. So
yeah,
it's hard to say. Final.
Sorry, yeah. Along those same lines, what about John Cena? Do we think he's gone for good?
That one seemed pretty permanent.
I think he's coming back, honestly.
I mean,
I feel like
it wouldn't break any of the rules.
His car, I mean, it was a special card. Maybe it's like...
I think we're going to end up seeing him in like 3 more movies. Like, he's going to show
He's
back
too
up.
hot right now to not...
I think when they decide in, years down the line that they're going to bring Fast and Furious back, we're going to see him again.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I mean, John Cena is such a hot actor, and I think he is pretty successful in this one. He's probably one of my favorite parts. It seems to indicate that a dam is about to rush and swallow, a dam is about to blow up and swallow up Dom and his child. How are they going to escape that situation?
It's so stupid because the whole scene right before it was like these 2 semis that were being remote piloted to like crash into Dom. Then Dom just steers it right off the dam somehow. But also there was bombs on the dam. They didn't just like blow it up. Like Jason Momoa really is like being Joker and just like doing these trials for his Batman, which is Dom Toretto, which is also so weird.
He's got the gadgets, like Abby said.
Maybe a boat. They haven't done a boat thing yet.
Well, they jumped onto the boat in Fast 2.
They did do that a while ago.
But that was such a lame ending.
Yeah.
They got to do boats better.
Yeah.
We've done submarines.
Like a speedboat chase, jet skis. Like that's like the motorcycle of the sea. So that's where Michelle Rodriguez gets in.
The stunts were really crazy in this, but I will say, in comparison to the last one, I think they were a little bit more grounded. I mean, they went to space and like the whole thing is always elevating it. This one didn't necessarily elevate it in a ridiculous way. It just maybe went longer, like the Rome sequence being rather extended. Jason Momoa, you referred to as Joker. Explain that. I want to hear more about that. Why do you think he's the Joker?
So he is so like old school Joker, not like Heath Ledger, although he is kind of doing a little bit of that, but like
a little knife licking,
the like Jack Nicholson, but like even like more of the Mark Hamill like gender bending type of Joker performance where like he is like maybe like queer coded and doing like really fun flamboyant crimes. Yeah, like they're very like in your face and goofy and wacky. Like there was a scene where he was like painting his nails and also painting the nails of these corpses that he just killed and like taped up all weird, and it was, I don't know. It felt, and like
that was a little strange in this movie.
Yeah, that felt out of place. But I don't know. Like imagining the Joker doing all this stuff made the movie more fun for me, which was really stupid. But
we've been comic pilled.
Yeah,
that's what it means. Title rank: Fast X.
It goes kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean it's no fasten your seatbelts. Fast 10 your seatbelts. But is it better than Fast and Furious 6?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the worst one right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better than Fast & Furious? Fast and Furious, the 4th movie.
Yes.
Okay. F9.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes.
Yeah. Fate of the Furious.
Yes.
I'd back it.
Furious 7.
Yeah, it's better than Furious 7. X is a cooler.
Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift?
Tokyo Drift's pretty sick name.
It's also the name of a great song, which helps it a lot.
Yeah.
The Teriyaki Boys always boost up that movie more than it deserves, probably.
I don't know if it's...
Well, here's the thing. Fast 5 sits right above Tokyo Drift. Do we think...
I feel like Fast 5 should be moved down, maybe, below Tokyo Drift.
I mean, alliteration.
The power. That's true. That is why we liked it.
Fast 5. And it's like the first one that really... I mean, I guess Too Fast, Too Furious. They've always been playing with it.
Yeah.
That's when they kind of switched
That's true.
the way they were doing the names a little bit.
Yeah, let's throw it maybe in between Tokyo Drift and Fast 5.
Fast 5?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm fair with that. All right, so this is our final iteration at this point, so I can read our final rankings. Our favorite is the classic, The Fast and the Furious, the best title. It's the OG, and then of course Too Fast, Too Furious. That's how all sequels should probably be from now. It's just something.
Too blank.
Exactly. It's similar to the Electric Boogaloo format. Fast 5 coming at 3, and then of course Fast X, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, Furious 7, Fate of the Furious, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, F9, Fast and Furious, and Fast and Furious 6 as the worst one. Finally, Jackson, I mean, you've got 2 years to find out, but what is your prediction for what will happen in Fast 11, Fast X Part 2? I don't know what they'll call it. Maybe what is your prediction for what they'll call it?
They'll name
and
it?
Then what will happen?
I don't even know. Maybe they'll do like an X and then like square it.
Ooh.
Like I could see that.
Squared.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
I could see them doing that. And as far as like what they'll do, there's got to be a boat thing with the dam. Like, why else would you be near all the water with the explosion? Like, to me, that just feels natural. And then, Hobbs is coming in. Maybe Shaw too. Maybe they both show up together.
The Rock is back. 20 minutes. We just did it. My hope is Aliens. I think we need Aliens.
Oh, wow.
Franchise, or at least a crossover of some point.
Transformers,
when is the multimedia
Men in
Universal other movie? Maybe Renfield shows up.
Jurassic Park.
That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, Jurassic Park is probably the one that everybody talks about. But this has been a fast conversation about the entire Fast and Furious conversation. Thank you to Abbi for joining us for this special.
Thank you for having me.
Kody for joining us again. You kind of connected the dots between the Fast 5 episode and this one, so that worked out. Thank you to Jackson for going on this journey of never seeing these movies. Been an honor. Well, what did you? I mean, you didn't know what to expect going in, obviously. But
no.
How do you feel at the end of this, having seen all the movies? Are you glad you went on this journey?
I'm so tired, and I'm so glad to have some nights where I don't have to like sit down and like make myself watch a Fast and Furious movie. I think half of them were okay, and I think the other ones were at least entertaining for the most part and like funny to watch. Like these were at least like fun bad movies, and I love those. So I had a blast.
Last thing, which one was your favorite?
Oh, that's tough. I think probably Fast 5 still.
And that is the correct choice.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. This has been a Fast Conversation, and hey, maybe catch us in the next Fast Conversation about a different film franchise. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.